So today I'm going to talk about travel brushes, and I've kind of got quite a few now, just because you probably realize this, that you get a brush and then you feel like, oh well, this isn't quite what I expected, so then you go out and get another brush, or you're out doing urban sketching, it's like, oh, you know, a flat brush would be really good, or a wash brush would be really good, and so it just kind of accumulates. And then I was also given one during the Urban Sketchers Symposium that I absolutely loved, and I'll come to that one later. So that made me buy yet another one. So anyways, let's get started. So what is a travel brush? Well, a travel brush is usually something like this that can fold down into its own protective case, and that's important. You want to protect the bristles of the brush, and so, you know, putting a brush in a pencil case or something like that could ruin the bristles. You can fit a regular brush, usually not this set, but usually there's a gap in the middle that you can set a brush in. But I tend to go very small with my cases, including, or my palettes, including like that small. So yeah, so that obviously could not fit a brush inside. So that's where these come in handy. Now, I will talk about some that can fit inside a case like this one. I put my brushes in here because they just fit nicely so that the bristles are still protected, but we'll come to that later. So I'm going to go through all the ones that I have and maybe do a couple swatch outs. This is just regular cellulose-based paper. It's just Fabriano, but it's good for swatching out things. So let's start with a lot of watercolor artists love Rosemary & Co. brushes. Now these are a little bit difficult to get in Canada. There are some places, Articulations has some, and that's really all I can think of in Toronto that have them. I ordered these online, and it was, I think it was about $20 for shipping. That could be different now. I think I got these about 2 years ago. And yeah, so I ordered a few while I was at it. And this is the, let me just double check. This is the R19 Pocket Red Dot Pointed Round, and it's 100% synthetic. And then I also got the R16 Pocket Sable Nylon Blend, and it's dagger shape, and the size is 3/8. Oh, this one is their size 12. Now, I'm gonna say sizes, but they're not standardized, so you really have to check. Good retailers will have a measurement for you so that you can tell what size brush it is, just so you're not buying, you know, one that you already have. So let's try these. The round really does hold a lot of pigment. Let's go for something nice and bright. It's a really nice brush, and I do love it. I haven't been using it a lot lately. I made this little pouch for them, and I put them in here. Just always be careful that you don't get like the bristles kind of caught. So I haven't been carrying that as much, and I'll get to that later because I've been using some other ones in my pen case instead. And then the dagger is quite nice. Oops. So you can do all sorts of lines with that. And again, this one holds a lot too. Then this is a sable synthetic blend. So I won't swatch them all out. And then these were my other favorites for a while too. Escoda, our Spanish-made brushes. This is the Ultimo range, and this is their size 10. Just a little bit. And I also have the size 6 and the size 2, and these are also synthetic. So that's those sizes there. And these are really, really nice brush, and they're not too expensive either. For the quality that they are, they're not too expensive. And so, yes, they're imitation squirrel. So definitely synthetic. And then we will jump to my next favorite, or the favorite. So I got one of these in a symposium grab bag, and I don't know if it was, I think it was a 6. And I already had a Tintoretto brush size 6. This is a 1327 brush, and I liked it. I really liked it. I bought it with my own money. So I thought, oh, I kind of have the same brush, it's too bad. But then I started to use it, and it's just amazing. It's mop style. This is the 1337, and they are synthetic. I have the size 2 and 6 in this, and the point on them is just, I don't know if you can see that as well, so sharp. This one's kind of dulled a teeny tiny bit, but it's still really, really beautiful. I'll show you because this one is still really, really sharp. But even the size 2 really holds a lot. So those are my absolute favorites right now. And all this, I have a review on my website under tools I use for urban sketching. So you'll be able to see more details there of other things that I'm using, as well as other things on my website, like art book reviews, artists that I follow on Instagram is new, and courses that you can take online, and If you're in Toronto, some good places to take courses as well. And so that's going to lead me into flat brushes. I started doing more, we'll save that. I started doing more in gouache, and I find flat brushes just work better when I'm using gouache. And so I got a few. I had this for a while and I hardly ever used it until, again, I started doing more in gouache. This is the Pro Arte Midas Touch Gold Flat, and it's really quite nice. It's kind of got a thick barrel that it kind of doesn't need, but that's okay. It's just nice. Oops. See if I can get more out of that. And that led me to get some smaller ones because my sketchbook is pretty small. So I got, let's go to, whoops, it's disappeared. It's just falling in between here. I got this one. It's the beam paints, which are made in Manitoulin Island. This one screws on, which is kind of unusual. And it's size 4. Beam paints are everywhere now, so you might, even if you're not in Canada, you might be able to get them. And then I just wanted something a little bit smaller. So I got this Vinci Casaneo size 2. These are made in Germany. And so this, you'll notice, isn't technically a travel brush. It does not go inside its own case or its own handle, but this is small enough. It's pretty short to fit into my pen case without damage. Like it totally clears the top of it. And so that leads me to some not technically travel brushes that may still fit with your kit. And they're also kind of different brushes for different things. So start with the mop brush, which is kind of pretty versatile and great if you want to do even a wash. And this one is by Jackson's. It's their Raven size 0. And it's really nice. There's something about the handle that I really like. So that comes out when I want to do a bit of a wash. If I want to do a broad wash, then I use this little Princeton Neptune mottler. It's a 1-inch brush, and it's really great for doing washes. Oops. Looks like a bit of vegetation in there. And another unusual brush, well, not so unusual, is a rigger or a liner brush, and this one is Princeton's Velvet Touch, which the handles are always so nice and, like they say, kind of velvety. It's really, really like this line. And again, it's a very short handle. I just don't want to make sure that I didn't have enough water on that. So those are great for doing little lines, even great for doing little dots. So those are all the travel brushes or travel-like brushes. I'm not going to talk too much about water brushes. There's, you know, a lot of companies make them now. Faber-Castell made their own. These are quite handy. They're nice and small. They hold a lot of water, and they have a nice tip, but it's always the same size tip. So you may want something different. I got a flat in this. This is the Pentel, no, Kuretake water brush, and that's really nice. In that same Toronto Symposium bag, I got the Caran water brush, and these are a lot more expensive than those, and they have a push button. Derwent has one that has a push button too. I wouldn't have, it doesn't really bother me about pushing from there or there, so I don't see what use that really has. Maybe some people do. This was around, it's got some unfortunate hairs coming out, which I may be able to put in boiling water and try to get back in shape, but you know, it's not the best bristles. And color does go on a lot differently on these, with these. It doesn't show so much there, but when you're working away, it's a little bit different. And then you also have to try to get water through and cleaned off before you touch your next color, because you're not dipping into water. So there's drawbacks to it, but it's also just very handy. You don't have to carry a water jug or anything like that. This one's kind of finicky. I'm not finding that the water flows through as well. Kind of gets trapped for some reason. And so I've been using mostly these two. And like in Canada, Serres has their own brand too that come in different bristle shapes and sizes. So shop around for those, and they're all about the same. They all have the same sort of nylon brush on them, so not as good as these synthetics. So it's really up to you. If you want to bring water with you to use, then that's always the best option. But these water brushes are really handy for when you just want to take limited kit, you're not sure about water supply or anything like that. So that is about it for what I take out and about. I've been keeping some of my travel brushes here at the studio just so I don't have to bring in my brushes from my home studio. That may or may not change, I don't know. But to sum up, these are my absolute favorites, the Tintoretto 1337. I highly recommend them. The rest have been all great, but these are definitely my favorite. All right, so that's it for now. Get out there and do some urban sketching or plein air painting. These are all for Thanks, everyone. Check out my website and I'll have a list of all the brushes down below. Thanks so much. Bye.